When we talk about the Kosmokratoras, we are talking about what is known as the Illuminati. The Illuminati from the Latin, which is lucis, or light, the illumination of Lucifer. And it was Benjamin Disraeli, the Prime Minister of England, who said the world is governed. The world is governed, literally, in Greek it would be said Kosmokratoras. The world is governed by very different personages from what is imagined by those who are not behind the scenes. We are not behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. We can only imagine. We have conspiracy theories because these people have conspired, and they have conspired to enslave the earth. As Justice Felix Frankfurter of the U.S. Supreme Court said, the real rulers in Washington are invisible and exercise power from behind the scenes. You do not see what's going on. This is a Supreme Court justice who saw what was going on. And as Mayor John Hyland of New York said, the real menace of our republic is the invisible government, which like a giant octopus sprawls its slimy legs over our cities, states, and nations. So the question is, who are these invisible, behind-the-scene personages who are the slimy-legged gods of this world? Well, it was Winston Churchill, the Prime Minister of England, who stated to the London press in 1922, from the days of Spartacus Weishaupt, Karl Marx, Trotsky, Bela Kun, Rosa Luxemburg, and Emma Goldman, the world conspiracy, this world conspiracy, listen to his words. This world conspiracy has been steadily growing. This conspiracy played a definite recognizable role in the French Revolution. It has been the mainspring of every subversive movement in the 19th century. And now, at this point in time, this band of extraordinary personalities from the underworld of the great cities of Europe and America have gripped the Russian people by the hair of their head and have become the undisputed masters of that enormous empire. As over $20 million in gold was shipped through Europe by trains that came right out of New York, out of the bankers that financed the entire Bolshevik revolution, ladies and gentlemen. This is not a secret to the Prime Minister of England. And so we have to ask, as he said, these extraordinary personalities, who is this Spartacus Weishaupt? Spartacus Weishaupt was really Adam Weishaupt. He's a professor of canon law at Ingolstadt University at Bavaria, and he was the founder of the Illuminati, which was formed on May 1st, 1776. As I mentioned, Illuminati is derived from the Latin lucis, or Lucifer, or bearer of light. It is he, Lucifer, who is the illuminator of the chosen few of the inner circle. Now, the 1910 Encyclopedia Britannica described the inner and the outer circles of the Illuminati, or the Luciferians. But we're going to go right to Weishaupt, who better described it. He said, the most wonderful thing of all is that the distinguished Lutheran and Calvinist theologians who belong to our order, the Luciferian Illuminati, they really believe that they see in it, the Illuminati, the true and genuine sense of the Christian religion. Oh, mortal man, is there anything you cannot be made to believe? He was literally calling these theologians idiots. Morons, you'll believe anything. It was in 1785 that a courier for the Illuminati, named Lanz, was struck by lightning while he was racing from Frankfurt to Paris with instructions for the French Revolution. The documents were addressed to the Grand Master of the Grand Orient of Masons in Paris. The Bavarian government secured the documents and then raided the Illuminati headquarters and seized documents that detailed their global plan. Weishaupt had masterminded a plan to overthrow civilization and establish what he termed a novus ordo seclorum, a new world order. Now, if you'll take a look at the back of your Federal Reserve notes, now these are not greenbacks, they're not dollar bills, they're Federal Reserve notes. You will see that there's an occult logo that on it says Annuit Coeptus. our enterprise or our conspiracy has been crowned with success. That's what annuit coeptis means in Latin. Our conspiracy has been crowned with success. And it's now found on the reverse side of all the Federal Reserve notes that were printed since the U.S. went into receivership to the world bankers after the stock market crash of 1929 and the Great Depression. Now, you'll see that. Now, they know at that point they had seized America. We are now in receivership, and that is why we have to go through all this stuff, raising the debt ceiling and all this to keep on borrowing money from the world bankers that we can never pay off. We have to do what they say to do. The wars, they finance on both sides. They have us by the nose. All of the members of the inner circle were required to adopt classical names, and that's why Adam Weishaupt renamed himself Spartacus. Then, after the Illuminati headquarters was raided, after the lightning strike that killed Lanz when he was going through Bavaria, that's when the governments of Europe were notified of the conspiracy, and that is of course, why the Prime Minister of England knew all about this. It's not a secret. But most of the governments of Europe turned a deaf ear until France fell, just as was planned 4 years later. Many of the seized documents were stored in the British Royal Museum until they were stolen in 1979. And that was what detailed what their plan was. Now, something you may want to know is that Thomas Paine, who is a member of the inner circle of the Illuminati and the much heralded father of the American Revolution, after the American Revolution, left America to participate in and solidify the Luciferian or Illuminati's plans for the French Revolution. Thomas Paine was not a Bible-believing Christian. Okay? He was a member of a Satanist organization, the father of the American Revolution. Now, I do think it was a good idea to throw off the shackles of that foreign power, which is based on rule by divine right, because of the Merovingian king fairy tale that was so inanely put forth by Dan Brown in his novel, what was that thing called? The something code, this fake code. Well, it wasn't the Jonah Code. That was real. What was that? The Da Vinci Code, okay? That's such a fairy tale, but yet there are people that live according to this. Now, I want to talk to you about the outer ring. The outer ring was told that their purpose was to make the human race, without distinction of nation, condition, or profession, one good and happy family. That's what the outer ring was told, okay? The outer ring as described in the 1910 Encyclopedia Britannica. But the real purpose of the inner circle was, number one, the abolition of all ordered governments. Number two, the abolition of private property. Number three, the abolition of inheritance. Number four, the abolition of patriotism. Number five, the abolition of religion. Six, the abolition of the family unit. And seven, the creation of a world government. That's what's going on. Just imagine. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to die or live for. And no religion, too. Imagine all the people living life in a drug-induced stupor. You may say I'm a Luciferian, but I'm not the only one. I hope that, too, someday you'll bow the knee to Satan and all the world will become one totalitarian prison planet called the Novus Ordo Seclorum. That's my version of John Lennon's.